Welcome, guys. It's Elena. This is study session 11, oils for presenters, speakers, and performers. This is a topic that has come up a fair amount. I have several friends and colleagues who are constantly speaking in public or virtually and giving live talks like these and otherwise. And so many folks have requested that this is done. My dear Nikki Morissette, with whom I've been working on several of these lives, was kind enough to put together a comprehensive list for us. So I will go and get started without further ado. I reference a lot, as I do in almost every one of these lives, Desiree Mangandog. Her book, I Am Fabulous, is the first of her books. The next one is coming out soon. It'll be called I Am Worthy. I Am Fabulous has in it Speak Your Truth and Speaker's Blend. Speak Your Truth, they're both quite simple too. Speak Your Truth has spearmint, wintergreen, lavender, cypress, cardamom, arbor vitae, and helichrysum. And I want you to get the book, so I'm not giving you the blend because Desiree is a dear friend and I want to support her work. The Speaker's Blend has lavender, spearmint, wild orange, and sandalwood. Now, I'm going to go into several of the components of each of these blends so that you can get a clue and a hint of why she uses them in her work for folks who are out there and in the public eye, if you will. So we'll start with Cassia. Cassia brings courage. Cassia allows you to speak without shame. Cassia encourages you to let your light shine, witness your own brilliance. So it's a version of cinnamon. It's the same as cinnamon, but from another part of the world. And if you smell it, it does have a different smell from cinnamon. It almost smells a little more medicinal and less sweet. It's also less expensive. Cassia helps you work from the conviction of your magnificence. It's a pretty great thing to have around. And it blends well with a Roman chamomile in the diffuser. It blends well with clove in the diffuser. Now, all these blends are really great if you are committed to trying them topically. I want you to very conservatively dilute them. So if you have a 5 ml bottle, just maybe 10 drops of each. In a 10 ml bottle, 15 to maybe 20 drops, and then the rest, carrier oil. I'm very conservative, particularly with a lot of these oils because some of them are quite hot, Cassia being one of them, and our next oil, Clove, is another. Clove helps with your soul fire. Your soul fire instills power and conviction, protection and boundary prior to your performance. She gave me, Desiree, a blend called Clear that she had me make for myself, which I'll hold nice and closely. Marjoram, rosemary, melaleuca, cypress, wintergreen, black pepper, and frankincense. It's a very potent blend, and I use it before anytime I speak online because, as she says, it's so powerful. As she says, and I put it on my elbow creases and I put it on the back of my neck, just right underneath my hairline. She says that this is a great way to help clear energy both before and after you've recorded something for online viewing. Because many people are watching going forward in time. And I don't want to go too far down this road, but there are negative projections as well as positive projections when you put yourself out there. And as many of you have felt in your life and your work, when you're going to put yourself out there, sometimes it feels really spacious and open and you feel very supported and held. And then other times it feels really scary. And those times your intuition is telling you that someone is either foisting a projection on you or in some way negatively reaching toward you. And so these oils, actually the plants, if you think about how they act in their environment and their habitat, they're designed, engineered by God to protect themselves from predators, animals and weeds and other plants. So when you think about how they work for us, it's a very obvious equation. Clove also helps to interrupt tough patterns. This is why it's also great for addiction. interrupt tough patterns, respiratory congestion, even inflammation. So physiologically, when you're going to speak, that's an excellent blend to keep around. 1 drop of clove in a lot of hot water in a big fat glass or ceramic mug is fine. Otherwise, again, fractionated coconut oil or any other carrier oil, just a few drops is all you need. Back of your neck, elbow creases, even inner arms. It blends well in the diffuser with helichrysum and lavender as well. Cypress helps you draw energy in and keep it flowing. Think about that. When you're performing or you're presenting or you're in any way giving, offering yourself, Cypress helps you bring the needed energy in and keep it flowing and cycling through you. So this is a wonderful oil to have around. And as you know, if you've been watching, I also talk about this a lot for working out. Fluency in the body, in the movement. Cypress also helps you cast aside worries and let go of control so you can just get on the ride. And if you've ever performed or presented in public or even in this forum, you know that it's really important sometimes. Just forget about what your mind says and do what is needed for the people who are either watching, for the people whom you're serving. Additional physio benefit from Kurt Schnaubelt, which we use a lot here in our research. Kurt Schnaubelt is the author of SCHNAUBELT, Kurt, K-U-R-T, The Healing Intelligence of Essential Oils, and also Advanced Aromatherapy. Both are very much in use and very dog-eared around here. He sees that the astringent quality in Cypress eases respiratory coughs, congestion, and it serves actually as a decongestant. So this is a good one if you're diffusing. Those of you who do perform, if you're diffusing, this is a great one for the diffuser. It goes super well with frankincense and James's new favorite, Arbor Vitae. Frankincense is next. So we know that frankincense is the oil of truth. It helps us to release low vibrations, dishonest vibrations. It helps us be truthful and speak from our hearts, from our truth. Now, when you want to raise your awareness, when you want to raise your connectivity, when you want to have a great, deep, delicious meditation, what would you search for? Frankincense. You can take this oil, and as you can see, it has nutrition facts on the back. You can take this oil on your finger, dot, roof of your mouth. It's so delightful. It immediately opens up everything in your head. I strongly recommend that you have this around, and this is one of the most costly oils, and it is well worth it, and you'll have it for quite some time. Treat it like the gold that it is. It will allow you to reflect your light onto the world. It will make you actually magnetic and attractive. I use this almost every day. I put it in my face oil most days. And then when I don't use it in my face oil because something else catches my eye, I'll usually put it on the back of my neck. James is always carrying his frankincense roller with him, so it's always near. And the spiritual openness, which can foster connection with your audience and, if I may, with your guides, is helped by frankincense. So a lot of times, if you're seeking to be a little more intuitive in your presentations or in your performances, frankincense is a great help. Geranium fosters safety for emotional honesty. It's known as the oil of love and trust. So you can think about it as the way in which you can start to trust yourself and love yourself. And the more I look around, I got together with some very old friends last night, the more I see how we age, literally and figuratively, the more I see that the people who have actively practiced loving themselves, be it through their actions or through their thinking, are aging beautifully. It's not that they're not getting older. It's that they're aging with elegance and with grace because of the love. You can feel it on them. You can smell it on them. They have love for themselves. It makes it very easy for them to be out in the public eye and be performing and presenting their learnings and findings. Geranium can help you with that. Encourages true presence and it helps you trust that things are unfolding as they should. Blends well with ylang ylang, rose, geranium, and frankincense both go in my face oil most days with ylang ylang these days. As the weather gets a little warmer, I'm finding ylang ylang so helpful right now on my skin. Lavender. This is an easy one. It's the oil of true expression, of communication from the innermost parts of you. It reminds us that we're safe to express ourselves. And if you've been smelling a million oils and you're just, you've had a bunch in your nose recently, don't smell lavender right away. But if it's been a couple of hours since you smelled anything and you really just want to smell something that will help you see the truth of what is happening when it is difficult, just go for your lavender. And it's so potent. It's so powerful. It's so sweet. And it's okay, it reminds us, it's okay to identify and work with what you think and feel, not necessarily what someone else is saying you should think or feel. Keep lavender close. Lemongrass. Oh, and lavender obviously blends well with pretty much everything, but specifically with spearmint, Nikki noted in her notes, for easeful self-disclosure, which I thought was really nice. Lavender and spearmint together are going in next. Lemongrass is great before events or performances. Lemongrass is a cleanser. It helps clear the energy out before you perform and after. Okay? To dispel feelings of lethargy, limiting beliefs. It heightens discernment. It helps to illuminate the part of you that just knows, with a capital K. Blends well with sandalwood and clary sage. And when you know what has to go, start playing with lemongrass and let it go. Marjoram, the oil of connection. Okay, we've talked about this recently. Actually, it's great in physical work, great for athletes, great for massage, great when you have back issues of any kind, somebody's really hurting. Marjoram in a lot of fractionated coconut oil, just a little massage, the same way you would work with deep blue. Increases warmth and trust in your interactions. It softens your heart. It aids in the elimination of walls and barriers that stop you from really connecting. It's not dissimilar to a couple of the other oils, but this one has a very particular smell. It's super medicinal. I did not like it at all when I was in the throes of my addiction, and now I actually really fancy it, and I keep it around. I use it in the diffuser often. Just 1 or 2 drops, even with some of the sweeter things like bergamot and lavender and the things that you love, 1 drop of marjoram in there, and boom, it enriches, it changes, it adds another layer. Last 3. And marjoram also blends well with neroli and with geranium. Really nice with geranium, actually. I haven't tried it with neroli because I only have the neroli in the touch roller, so I haven't actually gone to the trouble of putting neroli in the diffuser yet. Sandalwood. Real heart-to-heart connection. Oh, I love this oil so. It quiets the mind so you can hear others and tune into the divine. I also do put this in my face oil sometime when I'm feeling vulnerable, or, the days when you work too hard and you've just not connected to yourself often enough or deeply enough. Sandalwood is a great one to have around. It attunes you to your intuitive body, the deepest parts of yourself, so you can work from honesty. And in the diffuser, it actually blends well with oregano and spikenard, particularly at night, and with the oregano, particularly when you're not well. Vetiver is next. Vetiver. Desiree says that it will dispel the scattered feeling. This is a really good one to have around sometimes before we deliver our hearts and our messages in performances or talks, whatever the medium. We feel so scattered, so confused. Oh my God. And I myself have, been less than kind even before I'm giving some talk or some lecture because I'm nervous. Vetiver is nice because it'll put you right into your feet and put it on your feet particularly. Just helps you feeling connected, safe. Your presence is felt when you have this oil around. What's nice about sandalwood is it's so deeply earthen. And so, about vetiver, it's so deeply earthy and earthen because it's a root, comes up from the ground. It takes quite a bit of effort to pull it out. It's the root of a grass. And it's one of those that even if you don't like the smell, as I've mentioned before, just put it on the soles of your feet and then put on a pair of socks. Delicious. And it helps you to be self-aware without being self-conscious, which none of us really need. Self-conscious is just a time suck, really. If I'm self-conscious, I wouldn't do my work, and I want you to be aware of yourself without being so conscious of yourself, if that makes sense. Blending with juniper berry and helichrysum. And if you're curious about those, the oils, the obscure oils presentations that I've done here previously are awesome. Check out juniper berry and helichrysum to go with your vetiver. And finally, and most importantly, spearmint. The most important of all. Spearmint gives you boldness. Spearmint promotes inner clarity, helps translate that clarity into words. We've talked about this before. And again, when you feel you might be stumbling over your words in your talk, you feel you might be scattered, this is a key component of any blend that you would make. Blends well with cassia and clary sage. And may I just add that all of the diffuser blends that I've mentioned, they're also really good in rollers, but again, be very conservative. 5 to 10 drops of each if you're working in a 5 ml bottle, a few more if you're working in a 10 ml. Always err on the side of using less rather than more at first, because you can't take the oils away, but you can certainly add more if you want them. It helps you access spearmint. It helps you access your inner light, which is all the world really needs from you. So that is the story with the blends for performers and presenters, speakers of all kinds. I hope this was helpful. I am, as ever, honored to share this information with you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments below, and I will be right along to answer them. And thank you so much. Thank you again to Nikki for your help, my love. I appreciate it. And see you guys very soon. Our next study session, I'm pretty sure it's going to be for oral care, dental use. I was just at the dentist a couple of days ago getting my teeth cleaned, and when the polish came in, I immediately said, no more. She stopped, and then she said, okay, go ahead and rinse. And I rinsed, and it was Listerine, which is full of carcinogenic neurotoxins. So I've decided to put together a sort of a package for dentists and those of you who are interested in having more natural care and support for your teeth and gums. And we'll be talking about that on the next episode. Thank you so much for being here.